Pat just likes to mess around with me.
Really? I don't know if I ever picked up on that.
I was
Never
shocked.
picked up any passive-aggressive tendencies on his part, ever. Except Pat loves talking in third person.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in to the Todd Allbaugh Show. We have about 30 seconds till we kick it off, and then you'll see what exactly is going on. Also, Trigby's here now.
Oh, very good. Trigby, we're at the EAA, so be on your best behavior.
He's currently muted. Anyway, we're about to start.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
We're all born to be free. We're all born to be great. We're all looking for the Hollywood sign and trying to find the interstate. We're all grown from the same old roots. We're all kicking in the same old boots. We're all stars and stripes and Friday night lights, living it up, falling in love tonight somewhere, sometime. Swing a little, drink a little, sun goes down. We're all saved by Jesus and our mama's prayers. We're all a little lost and found in some town somewhere.
Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh here on location at the EAA Museum in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's our Sometime Somewhere tour with Jane Matinaire and Greg Bach for the rest of the week. That's right. We're going to some towns somewhere. Today it is Oshkosh at the EAA Museum. Welcome in, everybody. We're happy to have you here. It is the 16th of July, 2025. It is Wednesday. That means it's
Hump Day!
That's right. Even the camel flew up there. You know how expensive it is to fly a camel from Madison to Oshkosh? Well, here he is on location, and we're happy to have that. Also, our great producer, engineer Aaron Zauber is back at the world headquarters down in Madison, Wisconsin. And joining us, as per usual, on a Wednesday, he is the host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9. Mr. Pat Kreitlow from beautiful Lake Wissota, where we were last week, and from the nation's capital in the Tony suburbs of Washington, D.C., the senior advisor the Lincoln Project, Mr. Trigby Olson. Gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Fine, but confused. I don't understand. This is the fly-in, the air venture, where people fly in stuff from all over. So why is Mr. Luxury Jet sitting at his house, apparently? Is he not?
You would think that Trigby would have flown in.
I know. The last of the jet setters. He still has his one of the original Pan Am pilot uniforms that he likes to wear occasionally,
Right.
with
Yeah,
the little
exactly.
captain's wings on there, and he's not there yet for you.
Trigby, how are you?
I did not know where Pat was going with that one.
Right.
I thought he was talking about you guys as the jet setters.
We need to turn up Trigby's volume just a tad.
Oh,
I
my
think.
volume is down. Do I need
Yeah,
to? I might need to talk louder.
All right, very good. That's always helpful. I appreciate that, guys. Well, before we get to our first guest here, have a great guest I want to get to. But, guys, have either one of you been here before? And if so, either to the museum or the EAA Air Show, and what are your favorite memories?
Have not. It's on the Wisconsin bucket list for someday.
Yeah.
How about you, Trigby?
I have never been.
Really? Well,
So
there you
we're
go.
going to learn stuff this hour.
You're actually going
It's
to
the
learn
wrong
stuff.
side of the state for guys like Pat and I.
Oh no, we get around.
They're Northwest Wisconsin guys, right?
We'll get there.
I've been before. I'll get into that more later. My youngest godson really was the reason we came up here. I've been here a couple of times now. It's fantastic. So Pat and Trivia are going to stand by with us, and you guys could chime in with a couple of questions whenever you so choose. But joining me here live at the table inside this beautiful museum. And by the way, if you'd like to see this, you can stream it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Twix, whichever you want to call it there. Really, really gorgeous right now. We are in one of the hangars of the museum. See the big U.S. American flag from the rafters. You see some historic biplanes there behind me, and they're kind of moving things around because they're going to have a big reception as a part of EAA in this hangar. So that's really been a lot of fun to watch that happen. But joining me right now at the table, Mr. David Lighting, who is the program manager for the Young Eagles program. David, thanks so much for taking the time, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for picking Oshkosh and EAA as your location for today.
Well, it's our pleasure, really, really an honor, quite frankly, to be here, and maybe we'll get into this more later, but you have some historic displays. There's a helicopter here, I believe, used in Vietnam, and it really tells the story of not just flight, but America's heroes, our veterans as well. People can learn not just about flight, but about our nation's history when they come here.
Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, so we'll get into kind of my story in a moment here, but to me, one of the coolest things about EAA and this museum and the event is it means something a little bit different to everybody that comes. Like you said, you've got the people that the magic of flight is what pulled them in. For some people, it's aviation history and military history. For some, it's the innovation. So it's really cool to have a museum here where we have an area dedicated to the military history, and then we've got the innovations area and the membership stuff. So, yeah, just a really unique place and kind of highlights everything that we're all about.
Really great to be here again. I appreciate you stopping by. Tell us, David, about your story, where you're from, where you grew up, a little bit about yourself, and then how you got into flight.
Yeah, so my story is a pretty fun one, I like to think. So I grew up in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Nice. You were just in Racine yesterday.
Were you? Perfect. Yeah, is that where you got the Kringle?
Yes,
of
exactly.
Course,
I was
of
brought it
course.
up from O&H.
Yep, exactly. So I grew up in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Neither of my parents were involved in aviation. They were enthusiasts, and they started coming up to Oshkosh for EAA back in the 80s. And I was born in 94, in January of 94. In July of 94, my mom brought me here for a day trip at 6 months old, and I've been every year since 1994. So I grew up coming here. I started camping in 98, I believe it was, with my mom and dad, and slowly started staying an extra few days up to the point where in high school and college I was coming for 10 days and volunteering. And we'll talk about the Young Eagles program in just a moment, but I was able to take a couple of free introductory flights through the Young Eagles program, one of them in 2002 to kick off the afternoon air show here at AirVenture, and then I took one back at the Kenosha airport a couple years after that. Decided to pursue aviation as a career. Unfortunately, I'm colorblind, so I have some medical restrictions as it relates to when I can fly and types of flying I can do, but I can still fly for fun. So if you would have asked me when I was 18 or 19 years old, what do you want to do for a living? My answer probably would have been, I'd love to go work in Oshkosh for EAA, because the organization had just, meant a lot to me to, bring me a lot of passion for aviation. So I went to college up at the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, got a degree in aviation management while I was up there, and I got involved with one of our EAA chapters. So we have 900 chapters around the country, really around the world, most of which are in the United States and Canada. Through that chapter, I got to know some of the staff members here at EAA, and my senior year, they just called me up one day and said, hey, would you like to intern for us for a little while? And at the end of that internship, they said, hey, do you want to stick around full time? And I've been in various departments here at EAA, but I've been overseeing the Young Eagles program now for about 3.5 years, but I've been here 10 years. And it's pretty cool that now I get to work on a program that was sort of a major stepping stone for me into my aviation life. And as much as it's my day job, it's also just kind of my passion in my life. So,
yeah, I mean, Pat has done shows with me, particularly when in northwestern Wisconsin. Trigby and I have traveled all over the state. And I know that one of my favorite things is hearing stories like you, people who have a passion for something and then can end up doing it in Wisconsin. And I just love that.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, it was kind of a match made in heaven for me. I mean, I love the state of Wisconsin. Growing up here, spending summers here, even winters. I mean, I love everything about the state, especially the Fox Valley. And when I went up to North Dakota, there was a bit of homesickness being up there. And it became my home for, the 4 years I was there. But I always knew if I could come back home, I wanted to be. And it's really nice to be here in this area, and again, doing something that I would do in my free time and I would use my vacation time on. So it's I'm pretty lucky to do what I do.
I'm going to give Pat and Trigby a chance in a minute, but first, tell us just a little bit, set this up. What is the Young Eagles program, and what is being a manager of that? What is your role?
Yeah, so the Young Eagles program was launched in 1992, right here in Oshkosh during AirVenture, and was launched with the goal of flying 1 million youth fly the centennial of flight, which was December 17th, 2003, which was 100 years from when the Wright brothers took the first flight. And EAA came up with this goal of flying 1 million kids by that date to help fuel that next generation of pilots and aviation enthusiasts. So we launched the campaign then. We flew 1 million kids by September of 03 that year, so we met the goal. And by the way, these are all done by volunteers free of charge. It's volunteers that are spending their own time, money, fuel, aircraft, maintenance to fly these kids. And since that time, the program's continued to go on. It's matured a little bit. We don't fly as many kids per year, but that's because we've now spun the program to be more about how do we give these kids the best gateway to aviation. It's not just a numbers game. But even at that, we're now coming up on 2.5 million kids between the ages of 8 and 17 that we've given their first introductory flight to, free of charge by volunteers.
Incredible. Pat?
Oh, let me ask you, David. I know all the time you see people who you're like kindred spirits. You've wanted to fly since as long as you can remember, and that's great. That's a wonderful fraternity, if you will. But I'd rather hear about people who they come there and they're coming as spectators. Maybe they even got dragged in there, and you see them, and maybe the next time you see them, suddenly now they're the ones that are interested. Because I have to admit, as not being one of those folks, I don't see how that changes, but other people do. So talk about the experience of somebody who's not really sure if this is their thing, and next thing you know, they can't get enough flight and planes and everything about them.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of examples of that, and it's pretty interesting. I think oftentimes the people who come over to this side of the fence, if you will, that maybe didn't expect to come over, are the people that maybe had a fear of flying, or they had a misconception about what aviation actually is. And it takes getting to know this community, whether it be through a family member or a friend. If you look at our membership and our people that are our folks that are very involved, the vast majority say they got involved through word of mouth. So really it's having a connection, whether it's a good friend or maybe just an acquaintance, that brings you in and kind of changes your perspective. And oftentimes for the kids, it's the Young Eagles flights, but we also do adult introductory flights called Eagle flights. And there's kind of a paradigm shift. When you get them out to the airport, you get them in the airplane, and they kind of have this realization that, so you're telling me I can come out to the airport, I can get in this airplane, and we can just go anywhere. We don't have to ask permission. We don't have to, there's no special, permissions needed. It's, nope, you get your pilot certificate, and you've got a ticket to freedom, quite literally. And then I always tell people you could fly theoretically not theoretically, people have done this. You can fly from New York City to Los Angeles or, within the metro area without ever once talking to an air traffic controller on the radio. You can just get in your airplane and go. And it is the ultimate form of freedom. And really, this is the only place in the world you can really do something like that.
We're speaking with David Lighting. He's the Young Eagles program manager here at the EAA. We're in Oshkosh on location. Trigby, a minute and a half left before the break. Have something?
Yeah, I think, as you know, Todd, my daughter, who's just turned 16, got her pilot's license before she got her driver's license, which is nuts to me. And now she's over in Europe for the rest of the summer, and I'm going to get over there in a few weeks, and she's already working on getting hours in while she's over there. So it's pretty crazy. I just, as you were talking, I just keep thinking it is amazing that in a state like Wisconsin, you have something like the Oshkosh Air Show, right? Like it's one of those things that makes Wisconsin such a unique place, filled with opportunity. And I'm sitting here thinking, I know Ula sometimes listens when I'm on Wednesdays, Todd, mostly because she likes to listen to you and Pat give me a bad time. But, I guarantee you if she's listening to this one, which she probably is, I'm going to get a phone call in a bit saying, why haven't you ever taken me to the Oshkosh Air Show?
I'm sure you will. I'm
I'm pretty
have to get her here next year. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a little break here and do a little business, as they say. When we come back, we'll talk more with David Lighting. He's the Young Eagles program manager. Going to ask him the question, how does one really start? If you have a kid like Trigby does and wants to get involved in Young Eagles, is it just in Wisconsin or is it in other places across the state? We'll find that out more. Also, a quick check of weather, some rough storms rolling through parts of Wisconsin, and much, much more. We're live on location at the EAA Museum in beautiful Oshkosh, Wisconsin, home of WISS. It's the Allbaugh Show across the state on the Civic Media Radio Network. Sweet, you're a natural, man. Have you done a lot of media?
Dick's trained me, as what I like to say, Dick Kapinski.
Todd,
if
you
you
said
want
break
to talk,
twice.
I know. Luke's sitting right here.
if you want to talk at all about history and how we ended up in Oshkosh, because we actually started in Milwaukee and moved up here in the 70s, I'm happy to touch on some of that too, just from the context of how it fits in with kind of the state of Wisconsin and things like that. But, I mean, throw anything my way and I'm happy to.
No, it's great. Yeah, whatever you think is important.
And, of course, how people get started is that's the day job, so that's the easy stuff too.
Okay, good.
You can hardly use it. Does it have blue screens, malware, viruses, reboots, hardware crashes? Sound familiar? Computers will have problems. When they do, you need the computer experts at Madison Computer Works. Every day we help home users and businesses.
What is that behind Todd? A Mustang?
Solutions to your computer.
No, it's a silver. I'm not sure what kind of plate it is. I'm not sure.
You're putting me on the spot. I think it's a Ryan of some sort, but I would have to double check. There are two Mustangs over that way. Those are both P51s. The silver one is actually the earliest known serial number that is still in existence that we got from the Smithsonian.
Wow.
I would screw up the full story, but it is the earliest known one still in existence that we got from the Smithsonian. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Wait. A commercial about a commercial? I don't follow. I want to tell potential business owners out there how to contact me to get a commercial on WMDX. Okay, I got it. Okay, let's come up with something. Let's see. Business folks.
Hey, Todd.
Directly,
Hey,
right?
Pat.
Yeah.
Are you going to join the show tomorrow morning, or should I skip that for tomorrow because you're traveling?
Sales at WMDX.
I mean, if you want to find someone like a for sure person, do that. Otherwise, I mean, if we'll leave it open, I can text you. It's just going to depend on, I'm not sure the entire setup yet.
Yes.
So if I'm there and able to do it, I will, but I might have to text you and say no.
Play it by ear. No worries.
All right. Thank you.
I'm not in Europe yet, Pat. I can't do it. 2 weeks, though. I would have volunteered.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show here on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, home of the EAA Air Show and Museum. We're at the museum of this beautiful hangar, historical hangar here. Welcome back. Zommers, what do you dial up there? It sounded like James Bond almost. What was that?
It is 8 miles high by the birds.
You
very
didn't know
good.
this?
Very theme song, very theme-esque. I love that. Joining us a cadre. We have a blessing, a cadre of folks here on the show today. As per usual on a Wednesday, the host of Mornings of Pat Kreitlow. Pat Kreitlow is joining us from Lake Wissota. Mr. Trygve Olsen, Senior Advisor, Lincoln Project from our nation's capital. And here at the desk at the EAA Museum is David Lighting. He is the Young Eagles Program Manager. David, I want to make sure we get this in and don't run out of time. To the question we were talking before we stepped away, if someone's listening, Trygve has a daughter getting her pilot's license before her driver's license. If they're listening to you and they're like, well, that sounds pretty cool, do they have to come here to Oshkosh? Are there programs throughout the state? How does one become involved in the Young Eagles program in Wisconsin?
Yeah, absolutely. So the beautiful thing about our organization, over 300,000 members strong, like I said, the 900 chapters, we've got our boots on the ground across the entire country, across the entire state. So no matter where you're at, you can get involved. And I always tell people, getting involved in aviation, especially right from the jump, when you don't know anything, it can be a little intimidating. You know, people think airports, they think fences and do not enter and all the security things. But the good news is within our 900 chapters, we have members around the country that are there to help you, get to the other side of the fence, quite literally. So I always tell people the first thing to do is find your local EAA chapter, reach out to them, say, hey, my name's Joe. I live in your area. I don't know much about aviation, but I want to get involved. Maybe I want to learn to fly. Maybe I just want to be around it as an enthusiast. I'd love to come out and learn more from you guys. At that point, they might be able to give you a free introductory flight and start to mentor you through how do you find a flight school that can work with you, or a flying club, or what's it going to cost, or who are the flight instructors. Because, again, there's hundreds of questions, but having somebody in your own backyard that knows the community better than anyone to lean on is a great asset.
Trigby?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I found fascinating is we've kind of gone through this process is there's a lot of scholarships and other opportunities too for young pilots.
Yeah,
you know,
we
to
actually
help with hours and all kinds of things.
Yeah, we launched a new scholarship program about 6 years ago, which now today it's a $12,000 flight training scholarship to fund the primary flight training of folks between the ages of 16 and 19. And we do about 220 of those scholarships annually. So since we've launched the program, we're coming up on almost 700 or 800 pilots that have come out of that scholarship program. So yeah, even just within EAA alone, we have hundreds and hundreds of scholarships annually.
Because I think that's a question that comes up a lot. Well, do I have to come from a rich family to get into aviation? And you're telling me between you two, and not necessarily, no.
Yeah, and the other thing is, even if say you're a little bit older and you don't qualify for the youth scholarships, there are some adult scholarships. And I always tell people at the end of the day, it is going to cost money to be involved. But you know what else costs money? Having a boat.
Right.
Having a lake house, having season tickets to the Brewers or the Packers, going on vacation. It's all about where does this fit in with your life priorities. And I have some friends in Appleton, a husband and wife. She was a school teacher. He was an engineer. They have their very own airplane, but that's their, they say that's our lake house, that's our boat. Our airplane and going on trips with that is our, that's our
and
that's
the
our
freedom
life.
that comes with that, as you said earlier.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can you talk a bit about the community support for this? Because again, something this massive can't happen with just paid staff or even a few supporters. I mean, it literally takes more than a village. It takes the city of Oshkosh. Can you talk about community support for this event every year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so the event moved here in 1970 permanently, and one of the main reasons we ended up here permanently was because at that time the community was so willing to support the event. We have roughly 6,000 volunteers that come out and help put the show together, which completely dwarfs those of us that are on staff. And I always tell people if the staff disappeared for a week, the event would still go on because the volunteers just contribute so much. But it's so interesting because you meet these volunteers, and many of which are from around the country, and they're tied to this event is that they are aviation enthusiasts. But there's also a really large chunk of these volunteers that live in Oshkosh year-round. They live in Fond du Lac, they live in the Fox Valley, and they don't have a tie to aviation necessarily, but their family has been associated with the event since it moved here in 1970. And now for generations, it's grandma and grandpa, it's the parents, it's the kids, and they all volunteer together, and this is their way of welcoming the world to Oshkosh.
David, what have we not asked you yet that you think is important for folks to know about the Young Eagles program here?
So I think the biggest thing about the Young Eagles program is, like I said, it's completely free. There's no strings attached. There's no expectation from the families or the kids. What's really cool is the local chapters typically fly on the weekends where they put on these rallies. Folks can find those at youngeaglesday.org, youngeaglesday.org. If you can't find an event in your area, this week and next week we're not doing it because we've got a little bit of an event going on.
Right.
But
a few million people.
Just about 200 yards behind us, there's a grass runway called Pioneer Airport. Yeah. And all summer long, we do free Young Eagles flights every day from about 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Zommers will put it in the show notes, youngeaglesday.org. Get more information there. David Lighting, Young Eagles Program Manager, cannot thank you enough. Please come back on the show again. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys, and enjoy the museum while you're here.
Yeah, absolutely. We certainly will. Pat Kreitlow, as always, thank you for joining us for this half hour. What's coming up tomorrow on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow?
Tomorrow we speculate out loud as to whether you make an escape from Winnebago County and continue on with your road trip and head up toward Park Falls and Hayward. We'll be wishing you all the best. Also, State Senator Jeff Smith will talk about that missing funding for homeless veterans.
All right.
What's up with that? We'll find out.
What's up with that? What's up with that? My favorite Kenan Thompson bit on Saturday Night Live, as a matter of fact. We'll be listening, Pat Kreitlow. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate you making time for us today. Join Pat every morning from 6 until 9 on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow. And Trygve Olsen, sticking around for the next half hour, my friend?
I am.
All right, sounds good. Trygve will join us, and also Danielle Schmick on the other side, talking about the education side of the EAA and young people as well. Don't go anywhere. We're live on location at the EAA Museum in Oshkosh across the Civic Media Radio Network. And we'll get a quick picture here.
Yeah,
You might have put
absolutely.
it on social
Go-
media.
go
All
for
right,
it.
all right. Always like to ask. All right. 1, 2.
Come work with us. Civic Media has a number of great
Sweet.
jobs.
Gotta
Appreciate
give
it.
the pilots thumbs up. That's,
Oh.
that's the
I
rule
love
around
it.
here.
I love
Sorry,
it. No,
I-
really, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank
We
you.
can talk about it. I would love to have you back on
That
either
yummy
StreamYard or
ice
whatever.
cream
Just get
treat
more
that
depth
you
about the
enjoy
program. I
might
really
look a little
believe this.
different
Yeah.
in the
And,
future.
there's
I'm
so
PM
many
Yankee with a quick
young
update on what's
people
happening
that
in
I
food and
think
farming news
are
on
sitting at
a
home
Wednesday.
going,
That's
or their
because
parents
the
like, I
ice
can
cream
never do
industry
this.
is the
Yep.
first to
And
pledge
you
that
just
they
said-
are going to
Yeah.
discontinue
Yeah,
use
absolutely.
All right, have a great day.
artificial colors from ice cream
Thank you.
products made with
Danielle?
real milk by December 31st.
All right, I'm Todd.
Pat, do you want the birds instead of Stevie Ray Vaughan?
Oh, I'm taking off. I was just waiting to say goodbye to Todd. So
I just
you-
mean in
Shannon Simon.
future.
No.
Flying,
I
flying
just-
high again by
just-
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ooh, very good.
So we would have to be waiting on Mars to kind of.
All right, Patrick. Thank
I'll
you very
see
much,
you
Pat.
later. Yep. Travel
All right,
safe.
have a
Talk
good
to you
afternoon.
later.
Yeah, bye-bye.
See you guys.
And Aaron, do you have Danielle's last name is SCHMICK.
Yes.
All right.
That uses some dyes. We are considering alternatives that would
Da,
still
da, da,
provide the
da.
same taste. So it is
Put that
something
headset
that
on,
we're
please.
actively working on, but it's going to take some time before we can find
Awesome. And just for a mic check, say your first and last name, what your position is, please.
Danielle Schmick, Aero Educate Program Manager.
Awesome.
Can you turn her up a little bit?
Yep.
Or do you want me to move the mic closer?
Just a tad,
Are you-
maybe, but. All right, and say one more time, please.
Danielle Schmick, Aero Educate Program Manager.
Did you turn it up or did you just move it closer?
I did both.
I
Okay.
think we did both.
That should be
So,
good.
Aero Educate Program Manager.
Correct.
All right, very good. Thank you. So, exactly like David, just like I'm going to start out with a little bit of news on the weather real quick,
Okay.
and just got to reset the stage here. Then I like to start out with asking you about yourself, where you grew up, how you got into aviation, that sort of thing, and just kind of what your role is here.
Okay.
My colleague and friend, our ongoing contributor, Trygve Olsen, is joining us there from D.C. So, Trygve, say hello to Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
Very well. Glad to be here.
Good to have you.
His daughter just got her pilot's license, and she just turned 16. So
Fantastic.
she got her pilot's license before her driver's license.
It happens. It happens. It's incredible.
It's kind of nuts.
Yep.
And I have almost 2 million miles on United. And when she asked me if I wanted to get on the plane with her or mom, I said, I think mom wants to go. I have lots of miles.
She can try it up.
What a supportive dad,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
All right, Luke's taking a picture.
Trust me, you don't want to get on a Cessna. Man, those things get bounced all over the sky.
I've been on one. One of my
had to.
buddies, Alex, he's had his pilot's license for years. He used to fly out of Maury Field in Middleton and would
Yeah.
fly us around the Madison and stuff. I loved it.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a buddy, Craig Peterson, who got his before he had his driver's license, and he used to fly us up to a cabin up in
Really?
Shell Lake all
Nice.
the time. Yeah,
That's amazing.
it was a blast.
When I was 11, we had a workshop for the Aviation Merit Badge, and I got to fly on a little like 2-person plane, and
Did you
I will
really?
never forget
Awesome.
that. And I will also never forget the pilot's reaction to my reaction. It's just like, yeah, buddy.
That's
That's great.
awesome.
Problem with Ula doing it's both a blessing and a curse doing out here. A lot of her hours, there's so much restricted airspace in the DC
Yeah.
area,
Oh.
so
Oh,
you have to
yeah, I bet.
drive. You have to drive way north up into Maryland to get to where they can, because almost all the airspace is closed.
Yeah, I could see that.
All right, about 30 seconds.
Thank you.
I was going to silence my phone. There we go.
It's cool.
Hopefully we don't get a
Right, I know.
radio siren while
I
we're...
know. him on location in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Glad to have you along. 35 minutes now past the hour of 2 o'clock. Jane Matnair, Greg Bach started things off earlier today with Matnair on air from 9 until 11. We are simply trying to live up to their great show that they had. So we're trying. And every guest that we bring on helps. So, and by the way, always like checking out the local newspapers whenever we come to town. Here is the Oshkosh Northwestern. Look at that headline. EAA Air Adventure starts next week in Oshkosh, and it has a B-2 bomber right on the front page. That's fantastic. And then the Oshkosh Herald also says final preparations underway as EAA AirVenture arrives. So making all kinds of news up here at this annual event. Also making news before we continue with the show. Just want to bring you up to speed here. A tornado watch remains, which means conditions are right. Remains in effect until 6 p.m. tonight for most of the state of Wisconsin, say from south of Highway 29. Basically draw a line from Green Bay over to not quite to Eau Claire and then down to La Crosse, everything south of that in the state of Wisconsin under a tornado watch. Been some pretty heavy weather. As a matter of fact, had a tornado warning expire at the bottom of the hour for listeners in the Madison area. That's more the actual storms were over towards Sun Prairie, Stoughton, Lake Mills area, and those are moving now towards Watertown. Have been no longer a tornado warning, but some pretty heavy weather moving into now where we're at, basically in the Oshkosh area. So our great team will keep us up to speed on that. Remember, if you encounter a storm like that, particularly water over the road, don't drive through it. As they say, turn around, don't drown. We want to keep everybody safe on the roadways here today. As we said, Trygve Olsen, our ongoing contributor and friend, senior advisor at the Lincoln Project, joins us from his home out in Washington, D.C., or the suburbs thereof. Not talking so much politics today, but his daughter, as you said, Trygve, earlier, one of your daughters just got her pilot's license, so you could relate to what's going on here in Oshkosh.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I am, as I said on the earlier bit, she usually listens to the show when I'm on, Todd, and I'm going to get an earful that we're not out in Oshkosh for the show. So.
Well, next year we could plan it.
For sure.
Get her here next year. Joining me now here at the desk, we appreciate everyone from EAA making time for us at Air Adventure because it is a very, very busy time around here. Is Danielle Schmick. She is the Aero Educate program manager. Danielle, thanks for making time. Welcome to the program.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Before we get into what your program does, tell folks a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and how you got into aviation.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've lived within this area my entire life, within about 10 miles from here. I actually grew up in a small town, Winneconne, and
really?
yeah.
My dad coached wrestling at Winneconne years ago, but anyway, go ahead.
Oh, wonderful. Well, and I now currently have crossed over to Omro, which don't tell anybody because that's a big rivalry, but
Right.
So grew up there and went into education. So I was actually a math teacher for 10, 11 years, and then a middle school and high school principal for a number of years. After the pandemic, just needed to kind of reset a little bit and needed to explore some other options that I could take my skill set and help kids. And EAA was a great option and an amazing opportunity for me to just take those skills and translate them over here. So I'm learning a lot about aviation. I don't have a deep background in it growing up, but taking, like I said, being able to take that information and teach kids in an effective and engaging way has definitely been a lot of fun. So I guess I've transitioned a little bit from being the stereotypical regional bystander of watching the AirVenture show come and go. As much I'd been here a few times for the show, but it a little bit more, kind of surrendered to the crowds for many years, and just said, you know what, you guys can have Oshkosh for that week, and we'll take it back when you guys head out. And now I'm in the thick of it, which is really exciting. So it's interesting to see it from the inside versus the outside.
Trygve, how many times on our trips around the state doing these What Makes Wisconsin Great tours have we encountered something and we're like, oh, I didn't know that. I don't know about you, Trygve, but to say that, oh, here's a long-time educator
Yeah.
and administrator, and now you're using those skills to educate kids.
Yeah.
When I drive by, I don't think, well, there's a whole education program for this for kids.
Right. And I think EAA has really emphasized youth education more so within the last 5-7 years. We've always had youth education, but with the addition of our education center, which just opened in 2022, Arrow Educate is our online program that launched in 2022. So we've really expanded recently, which is really exciting. But yeah, we're here to share what we have available because I don't know if many are aware of what we have.
I wasn't until we met you, and this is one of the great parts about these tours. So tell us a little bit. We're speaking with Danielle Schmick. She is the Arrow Educate Program Manager here at EAA. Arrow Educate Program. So is it dedicated to K-12 kids? What's the age range, and what are the programs that you all offer?
Yeah, great question. So Arrow Educate is online. It's a web-based program, absolutely free for our users, and goes all the way down to kindergarten up through 12th grade. The nice thing about it being web-based is now we can start a connection with kids pretty much anywhere, right? Our chapters do an amazing job of connecting with kids in person, and those who can make it here on site is a way for us to connect with them, but not all kids can do that.
Right.
So it's really been a helpful resource for us to just start getting connected to these kids, get them excited about aviation. But yeah, it is completely free for all those kids, thanks to our sponsors, United, Siemens, Piper, and NATCA have all really devoted to making sure that it's a free resource for those kids.
And you have a website or somewhere where people can go to get more information?
You bet. Everything is at arroweducate.org. There are online activities within the program. There are hands-on projects that kids can do at home. There's experiences that they can try, like go to an aviation museum or go to an air show, things like that. And they get points for doing all these activities that are aviation related, and they earn badges along the way. So it's just kind of fun incentive.
Wow, that's just amazing. Trygve Olsen, anything to add there? Ask.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, it gets to something that we talk about a lot, Todd, how much education's the heartbeat of the small and medium-sized and big towns in the state of Wisconsin. And it's, traditionally something that in no way should be red or blue. It's green and gold, man.
Yes.
It's what makes Wisconsin great.
Good one. That's perfect.
No,
you bet.
This is something that does cut through I not only just political lines, but to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, so often, and Trygve and I have done this show all over the state, and this seems to be a program, aviation, and making it accessible and interesting. Doesn't matter whether a kid's in a rural farm town, whether they're in inner city Milwaukee, doesn't matter whether they're white, black, Latino. This is a boy, girl. This is something everybody should be apprised of.
Yes, and when I really started with EAA, my very first question was, what was the original mission and how does it relate to where we're at today? Has the mission changed, right? And the answer was Paul Poberezny, our founder, wanted to have this organization accessible to anybody. And this started in the 50s. So that's pretty incredible that even at that time, like you mentioned, race, gender, socioeconomic status, nothing was a barrier at that moment. Like we still have resources available for financial support. We might not be able to break down every barrier, but we are definitely a resource and continue to keep that mission going. And I think that's why EAA continues to maintain and grow, and even the air show. I think everybody just feels welcome.
And again, because we drive by, we hear a lot about the fly-ins, and that's a huge part of it, right? But all these other things that you're involved with, all these programs to educate folks, that's the untold story. That's part of why we wanted to come up here, and thanks for doing this, because it means a lot. By the way, if you're watching on the stream, or if you can hear, no, we're not being invaded. We're in a hangar. We're in one of these wonderful, beautiful hangars that have history, they have displays, and they're getting ready. They're moving some of these big displays around because there's going to be some big reception here, right? Over 1,000 people.
Big banquet in here. Yep, on Thursday night of AirVenture. So got to get it all set up.
Yeah, it
beautiful.
It
Looked
really
like
does
they had the U.S. military passing behind you, Todd.
Yes.
Yeah. What is that? One of the historical tanks or one of the historical vehicles? I think. I'm not sure. But no, they have military equipment and everything else up here. So it's pretty cool, Trygve. You got to make sure we get you out here next year for this.
Yes.
I think I know. We can for sure. Ula's going to want to come along on that ride with
Yeah,
you.
I'm sure. Maybe fly out. Maybe she'll fly
That'd
you
be
out,
amazing.
right?
She'll
She can land on the
probably
green
want to
dot.
be Uncle Todd's guest on the show. I'm
She's
guessing.
been before. We can get her on again.
Yeah.
Talk to us a minute, Danielle. We're talking with Danielle Schmick, the Aero Educate program manager here. So I came a few years ago. I think it was my second time. My younger godson really was passionate about aviation and about aerospace. He ended up getting a mechanical engineering aerospace degree at UW-Madison.
Fantastic.
And we came here, and he went around some of the tables. And talk to us a little bit about the opportunities beyond just flying for education, whether it's joining the military, going to school, that people can learn and bring their kids here and learn about.
Yeah, absolutely. We have an area on the grounds called Aviation Gateway Park that is dedicated to educating those who are looking for the answer to that question, right? So we have anywhere from formal universities here that have any type of aviation program. Military is also represented here, your trade schools, your tech schools, things like that. So there's lots of options to really connect with those groups directly, but we also have a lot of forums that you can attend where you can learn more about what all those options are and how to get your foot in the door, or things that you can do today to get yourself prepared for that type of pathway. So there's a lot of connections you can make directly, but also just information that you can learn at our forums and workshops as well.
I think it's incredible. Like I said, my youngest godson, Jason, ended up getting a job at Department of Defense and works out in Bremerton Naval Base, not directly in aviation, but his kind of specialty in aviation aerospace was vibration stuff, which is applicable to other places in the military. So
I think even just whether it's whatever pathway it is that you take, I think that there's a misconception, or a lot of us just jump to the conclusion that piloting is the option, right?
All kinds of other jobs.
It's endless. Pretty much anything you can think of. I mean, if you're a carpenter, you could be building, the cabinets in a private jet, things like that. So it pretty much, you could use your imagination to find any connection to aviation, which is really exciting.
And if you come out to the EAA, you can find a private.
You bet.
If you want to shop for private jets, you can actually see.
I got those.
Right?
Just bring your checkbook.
Exactly. That's all you need.
I want a Dassault X9. I just can't afford it.
No promises.
Me and Taylor Swift.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Danielle,
If I had one, I would be in Oshkosh in about 2 hours.
See,
actually.
but you don't, Tricky. Sadly, but no.
I know.
Danielle, tell us, what have we not asked you yet that you think is important for folks across the state to hear about the Aero Educate program?
Well, I think just getting started with it, checking out the website is one thing. If you're coming to the air show, of course, we're going to have resources here to help share that information and get you more familiar with it as well. But even when I think about the air show itself, just getting your child involved in aviation in general and knowing that Aero Educate can be a part of that. Arriving here on the grounds, my first stop, whether you've been to AirVenture or not, and if you have kids, stop by our Youth Welcome Center. It's right on Celebration Way on the main drag to Boeing Plaza. You can't miss it. But it has Aero Educate information there, but also our Young Eagles information. I know you're just talking to David before. We have a fun activities inside the tent and a map that will show you where all the kids' locations are on the grounds, so that you have some direction and where to go. So first step is just taking a step. And as soon as you branch into the aviation community, it's so welcoming. So
Minute left. Fair to say that when I came up here, I was surprised how easy actually it was to park. It wasn't really overwhelming.
nope, not at all. Everyone figures it out. Kind of reminds me of an airport.
Danielle Schmick, thank you so very much. We'll come back with Trigby after this. It's the Allbaugh Show at Civic Media on the Civic Media Radio Network. Awesome. You're amazing.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
All right, absolutely.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Thank you for the opportunity. Get the word out.
Yeah.
The free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash.
Zamra, are we playing this or that today?
Or what's worse, yes.
Awesome.
And it is topical. This time, each day they are related to that day of the tour.
Well, given that the last week was which is worse, cheese curds or bratwurst, I don't understand the game, but I'm excited to play it.
This is better. It makes much more sense.
Okay. I'm going to trust you on this one, Sam.
Trigby, they're moving an atomic bomb. I'm not joking around. I'm hoping it's disarmed.
I'm not joking around. I'm serious.
I know. Crazy. Oh, my word. What? Good. All right. Was it? All right, good. Thanks. All right.
Any other songs you want, Trigby?
What? Let's see. Fly High Michelle by Enough Is Enough. I think it's by Enough Is Enough.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really good at the music game.
They're literally moving an atomic bomb right now.
When is Michelle going to invite me on her show to talk about?
Michelle?
Yeah, isn't it Michelle? Who has the show about music? Who's
Oh,
on?
Terry Barr. She's watching.
Terry
Barr.
Terry Barr.
They're right.
Terry, why did I call you Michelle? I'm sorry about that.
Because the song has Michelle in it. That's my guess.
It is. You're right. That is why. Terry, when am I coming on? Text me. Let me know.
I'll get you.
We anchor our news site on top of the RV. Oh my! Terry, take me along for the ride. I'm game. No, I'm not getting on an experimental plane though.
Maybe we'll spend just
Todd,
yep.
It's what I'm telling you. The heartbeat of all these communities.
What?
Things,
Airplanes,
education.
kids, education,
The,
yeah.
the whole, like.
Oh, now we got a tornado warning for Sauk County.
All right, 25 seconds.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show, live on location from the EAA Museum in beautiful Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Glad to have you along here, live on location. And many thanks to Danielle Schmick, the Aero Educate Program Manager, for being on. Great job. Always glad to have all these great folks here at the EAA joining us from our nation's capital via StreamYard. Trigby Olson, the senior advisor, or a senior advisor at the Lincoln Project, as we continue to tag team here with our great friends Jane Matnair and Greg Bach of Matnair On Air. They started things out from 9 until 11 today, and now we're here. And tomorrow, Jane and Greg kick things off up in beautiful Butternut. Going to be talking to some artisans up there. Jane and I are going to be involved in a clay throwdown. We're going to see who can throw down a pot the quickest, and then Greg Bach is going to be doing some acrylics. So we're looking forward to that.
Todd.
Yeah.
Todd, they're moving an atomic bomb behind you.
Yes,
for those who are watching on the stream, they're literally moving an atomic little boy is being moved.
Is that what it's called, a little boy?
This may be the end of Todd's show.
If I have to go out, it'll be in a blaze of glory with an atomic bomb.
Just
no,
the
really,
end of Todd's show?
Well,
Is that the thing we're most concerned about?
I just want to be the first one to tweet it going off.
Okay. No, seriously,
millions of
we're
views.
in this hangar here at the EAA Museum. And for those watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the like, they are moving an atomic bomb. I'm hoping it's not been, whatever you want to call it, lit. It's like a rocket, but it's a full like metal atomic bomb or whatever it is. It's very interesting. So they're moving things around here at the hangar of the museum because they have their big event, big reception, I guess. 1,000 people or so here at the EAA. So that's going on. Also, I want to get to this, have some heavy weather moving through parts of Wisconsin at this hour. Last we checked, tornado watch in effect until 6 p.m. for most of the state of Wisconsin, say from Green Bay over to just south of Eau Claire, and then everything kind of south of that, except for the far, far southwestern corner. Grant and Crawford counties not involved in that tornado watch, but the rest of the state is until 6 p.m. tonight. Some heavy storms moving through the state of Wisconsin. Trying to get my computer to reload here, but I believe there is actual a tornado warning right now for parts of Sauk County. So that is just south of Baraboo, or just south rather of Wisconsin Dells, near the Baraboo area. So if you are in central or eastern Sauk County, you have a tornado warning in effect right now. So that would include listeners on WRCE in Richland Central would be involved in that, and perhaps WMDX out of Madison as well. So tornado watch in effect until for about another half hour or so for parts of parts of eastern and central Sauk County. And I believe we'll pull up another one here. Have another tornado warning now just being issued for central parts of Columbia County in south central Wisconsin and east central Sauk County in south central Wisconsin until 3:30 this afternoon. And he's at 2:48. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Lake, Wisconsin, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Some of the places included in the line of these storms: Portage, Lake, Wisconsin, Merrimack, Interstate 90, 94 Exchange. So be aware of that. Again, a tornado warning until 3:30 this afternoon for central Columbia County in south central Wisconsin and east central Sauk County as well. We'll keep you apprised of that. So be aware. Some pretty heavy weather moving through parts of Wisconsin at this hour. Wonderful Terry Barr, one of the co-hosts of Max Inc. Radio every Saturday night on WMDX in Madison. You could also stream them and find them on the Civic Media app via WMDX. Terry watching in on YouTube today. She says, I love the EAA. Fortunate to have covered it for 14 years while at University of Wisconsin Oshkosh and at Fox 11 in Green Bay. We'd anchor our news on site on top of an RV. How about that? Riding on an experimental plane and the Concorde? Wait a minute. Terry Barr rode on the Concorde, Trigby.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, really.
She's
I
a
never
woman
rode
about
on
town.
the Concorde. How about you?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've never ridden
I wouldn't
on the
get in an
Concorde.
experimental plane. No way. You know, it's
You would
crazy
not.
for someone who spent as much of my life on airplanes.
And you
I'm
have.
really not a fan of. I like flying well enough, but
Right.
it still makes me a little nervous.
Well, but you fly well. We'll just say that.
Well, if you fly enough, you fly well.
All right. He's a man of the world himself, Trigby Olson. Trigby, a couple of minutes left here in this special show. Any reflections on our time here at the EAA or any memories? Again, it's just part of one of these things that makes Wisconsin great.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, think about all the things that make Wisconsin great. Like all of this sucking on limes and lemons that you hear from the politicians. You got Summerfest, you got EAA, you got the Packer training camp starting up soon. You've got colleges and universities. You got, you know, like, in fact, Todd, I didn't tell you. So this year, you know, Ula's starting college hunting.
Right.
So we're gonna go and do the University of Wisconsin, go to a Badger football game, which they've never done, and they want
Nice.
to jump around. And then we're gonna go to a Packer game that same weekend.
Wow, that's fantastic. Good for you guys. That's
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
and that's why
But
we
people
do these.
forget how many great things there are to do in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I think that's why we do these things in large part to remind, if nothing else, right, ourselves. Because we heard this when Pat and I were up at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair in Chippewa Falls last week. I ran into people who said, I just don't do straight news anymore through mainstream media or whatever because I can't take all the negativity. It just brings me down my mental health. And so I think these are good, not to gloss over the important things. We still talk about that, but to remind people there are wonderful things that bind us together in this state.
Well, and here's the other thing. I was thinking about this. You're in Oshkosh. Wasn't our fan who came and had lunch
Yes.
with us in Seattle? She's a nurse in Oshkosh.
That's right. Shout out to her. Trygve Olsen, Senior Advisor at Lincoln Project. Thanks so much, my friend, for joining us for this part of the show. We'll see you next
for
week.
this or that, Todd.
Oh, you're going to stay for some
Are you
this or
kicking
that.
me off?
Oh, no, I'm not. Come on back. More after this.
Columbus, Madison's home for real news and great conversation.
You don't have a problem yet, so I don't have a plane to catch.
Okay.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At the White House, President Trump criticized Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, renewing his calls for Powell to lower interest rates. The president also says he talked in concept of firing Powell with Republicans, but says it's highly unlikely he'll fire him.
How are you? The concept of firing him. I said,
Bad on a day like this.
almost every one of
It's
them
great.
said I should.
So we'll come back. My friend and colleague,
President Trump
DC,
nominated
Trygve
Powell
Olsen.
during his
We usually
first
do,
term in the White House.
some
President
political talk. We
Biden
don't
kept
do that
Powell as
this
chair
week.
for another
But
four-year term. The House taking out
all right, hey, we'd like to hear him. You want to put the headset on, please? We'll do a little mic check here. First of all, is the volume too high, too low? Is okay?
Good. How about me?
All right, go ahead and say your name. And
How's Chris? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And Chris Henry is
Yes, sir.
And museum manager.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good, fantastic. Well, this is great. So we'll come back. Let's see.
He's probably the curator of the bomb that just went rolling behind you.
Yes, we just on the air. We have an atomic
If
bomb.
you see him
going
reaching
behind
for a red
us.
button, duck.
I will, absolutely, I will.
Get under your desk fast.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's a good way to make friends.
Zommers, I can't get in. Oh, hang on, maybe I can. 1 second. Aaron Zommers, who I'm talking to, I know it's not a
Yes.
ghost. It's my producer down in Madison. Aaron, can you give me what's worse for? I forget what it is for today.
It is, well, let me show you. It
Oh,
is
very
fear
good.
of flying or
Oh,
fear
yeah.
of heights.
Fear of flying or
Oh.
fear of heights.
Okay, this one is really good. I know I've been a skeptic,
I told you it
and
was
I'm
better.
staying. I'm the official this or that, like checker once
Yes.
a week. This one's good. Last week
Okay.
when it was which is worse, bratwurst or beer, I was like,
It
come
wasn't
on.
Which is worse? What?
It wasn't bratwurst or beer. He makes things up.
He's out in D.C.,
It
right?
was something
Yeah.
like that. though.
But he's a River Falls boy. So
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
he's not a real like Beltway guy.
Yeah.
He's just out there for work.
Yeah.
No.
We did the show from his
If I
hometown.
could,
for
if I
River
could
Fall
convince
Day.
the missus, I would move to Oshkosh in a heartbeat.
I could say something really controversial. I'm
Sure.
born and raised in Pittsburgh, and I just bought my Aaron Rodgers Steelers jersey.
Really?
Yeah, I'm all ready for the
my
season.
Trygve is an owner.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
A Packer
Oh,
owner.
no.
Be nice. He's
Hey,
our guest.
Zommers, I think you should do a little Foo Fighters.
Aaron
Learning to
Rodgers used to
fly.
play for another team. I just can't remember.
Right, yeah, exactly. The Jets, right?
Yeah, it's the Jets, yeah.
I mean,
I
it
love that
is
the guys
nice,
that were-
the tradition. You know what I always like about getting up to Pittsburgh, which I do occasionally, is how nice you are to senior citizens up there.
yeah. Yeah, that's very
You give them
true.
jobs.
Yeah. No, I always said, all joking aside, Pittsburgh and Green Bay are very similar. It was very easy.
Really?
It was very easy for me to settle in here. There's a very good, respect of blue collar. I mean, the football teams are both no nonsense, old school football teams. I mean, it's, there's a lot of pride there.
Well, it burns me that Green Bay could have had T.J. Watt and passed on him.
I know.
But good for Pittsburgh.
Oh man, what a powerhouse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're saying the Kevin King draft pick didn't work out so good, Todd? Is that what you're suggesting?
Oh, jeepers.
That's funny.
So so we're on the stream right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Okay.
So people can hear you if they're watching on that. But we're not on the air yet on the 11 broadcast station. But I just like to tell people so they're like, oh, I didn't know I was actually,
Oh yeah, no worries.
Right now you're live from Baraboo to Budapest, from
his family's
Prattville
over
to
in Europe right
Pittsburgh.
now.
Oh wow, that's incredible. The one thing I will say about I know we're not on topic right now yet, but one thing I'll say is fun about Steelers fans is no matter where you go all over the world, they're Steelers fans.
Right.
I mean, you'll see.
Just like Packers, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very similar, and it's kind of heartwarming when you're far from home. It feels good to find some folks that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at the Super Bowl when the Packers played the Steelers. That was the Super Bowl I got to
man.
go to, which I have to say might have been was the greatest day of my life. Even Ula, I'm sorry if you're listening, but it was. Erica, I apologize.
It was a very clean Super Bowl.
You know what? It was awesome because it was two really proud franchises that know football, understand it. I mean, you could have gone to the Super Bowl when the Steelers played the Vikings back in like '74, and then you'd have had one proud team with fans who understand football, and then the ones in purple who don't really know anything about the sport.
So I went. I was actually at Super Bowl 40 when the Steelers beat the Seahawks. I was at the game. Yeah.
Wow.
And we had won tickets to the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl, like the beginning of the season.
Really?
So we didn't know who we were going to see, but we knew we were going to get to go to Detroit. I'm like, that's cool. It'll be cool to just go see the spectacle.
Right.
No idea that we'd get
And
to
let
see
me
our
guess,
Steelers.
you had a Jack Lambert jersey. You
I
look like
do,
a
man. Jack Lambert is
jersey
my
kinda
all-time
guy.
favorite
All right.
player.
Okay, guys. Sorry. Here we go. 15.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with our producer and engineer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board at the world headquarters. We are on location here at the EAA Museum in beautiful Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Welcome into hour number 2, everyone. It is the 16th of July. It is Wednesday. That means it's
Hump Day.
That's right. We have transported the camel all the way from Madison to Oshkosh via an airlift. Not a cheap ticket, but we got him here. So glad to have you along. Thank you to everyone who made the first hour of the show so fantastic. Getting ready here for hour number 2 of the program. In just a little while, we're going to be talking to Ren Scott, who is Vice President of Business Development and Events here at EAA at the museum. We're going to play a little What's Worse, and also standing by here in the wings, we have Chris Henry, the museum manager, who is overseeing this fine facility that we have the absolute honor and privilege of broadcasting from today. But Trigby, before we get back to the show, I want to bring people, our listeners, some very important weather information at this hour, particularly our listeners on WRCE in Richland Center and WMDX in Madison. We have a tornado warning in effect until 3:30 this afternoon for parts of Columbia and Sauk County. Again, for Columbia, particularly for central Columbia County, until 3:30 this afternoon. Right now, it looks like areas included that will be impacted by the storm include Portage, Lake Wisconsin, Merrimack, and Interstate 90-94 Exchange. Why do I say Richland Center, RCE, and Madison, WMDX? Because those are our 2 closest stations right now to this warning area. People might be driving in that direction. Certainly if you're going to be going anywhere near that Interstate Exchange, please do not go there. If you're not there already, pull over, take shelter. If you're in a car, if you're in the path of this storm, go to the lowest level of your building. And if you don't have a basement, get into an interior room such as a bathroom and make sure that you cover up. Again, a tornado warning remains in effect until 3:30 this afternoon for central Columbia County. Now, for the rest of the state, draw a line from Green Bay basically across over to Stevens Point and then down to La Crosse. Everything south of that line in the state of Wisconsin is under a tornado watch, which means conditions are right for a tornado until 6 p.m. This afternoon or tonight, so at 6 o'clock. just getting some brand new information in here as we're talking here. Looks like now the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for Fond du Lac and Dodge counties until 3:30 as well. So this would affect listeners right where potentially listeners WISS here in Oshkosh that might be listening in. Again, now the National Weather Service issuing a tornado warning for Fond du Lac and Dodge counties until 3:30 this afternoon. Southwestern Dane County and West Central Jefferson County could also be, that's an earlier storm, pardon me. So I'll repeat the latest announcement we have, the National Weather Service issuing a tornado warning for Fond du Lac and Dodge counties until 3:30 this afternoon. The watch remains in effect for the southern part of the state until 6 o'clock. We'll continue to update that. Busy day here. Let's try to get this in. It's 10 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this, or you
Time
can get
once
with
again
that.
for What's Worse. No prize money giveaways. Nothing involved in terms of cash value, but it is your chance to have your voice heard across all 11 stations on the Civic Media Radio Network. This is a good one, appropriate. Our writer CP has done himself well this week with all of our What's Worses. Today is What's Worse? Fear of flying or fear of heights? Fear of flying or fear of heights? If you'd like to weigh in on this all-important question on the lighter side, give us a call, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or you can text us on the Civic Media app or put it in the comment section as well. What's worse, fear of flying or a fear of heights? Trigby Olson, you want a quick answer before we get to our guest?
Fear of heights, Todd, by far. I'm terrified of heights.
I didn't know that about you necessarily.
Oh my God, open heights like that guy. Once we were at Zion National Park, or like when we went to the Grand Canyon. I'm just terrified. And watching like my kids get up along the rim.
Oh yeah.
In fact, we were hiking.
Other people? Oh my gosh.
I quit.
Right.
I got so freaked out.
That's it. All right, we'll continue to text call in. We'll take some answers here a little bit later. What's worse, fear of flying or fear of heights? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Now joining Trigby and I here at the desk here at the EAA Museum. He is the manager. In other words, the guy who said, yes, let that crazy guy on. Matt Nair was fine. They said if Jane, Matt Nair, and Greg want to come in the morning, we're fine with that. But we actually had to pay him in order. No, I'm just kidding. He is Chris Henry. He is the museum manager here at the EAA Museum. Chris, welcome to the show. Thanks for letting us do this.
Oh man, this is awesome. Thank you guys for being here, and we just we're having a great time with you all. Love to see interviewing most of our EAA family here, and we just thought it'd be a fun thing for you guys to get to see a little bit of the set up behind the curtain of AirVenture. So
we're having a great time. It couldn't, and again, for those watching on the stream, maybe people can hear us on the radio. Lots of activity going on. There were some beautiful planes for Jane and Greg's show in here earlier on the ground. You can see a couple suspended from the rafters if you're watching on the stream right now. But Chris, tell us what's going on here, the activity. What's this about?
So what you're seeing in this hangar is we're prepping for our gathering of Eagles. This is a big fundraising event for the organization, and this truly gives us the horsepower we need to go out and do the mission the rest of the year. People like Margaret Brill and our wonderful foundation team spearheaded, and this is where our wonderful donors will gather for the event Thursday night of the event. So a lot of prep work that goes into it that you don't see. If you come back here on Thursday, you wouldn't even be able to tell this is what we have here normally. But normally this is our Eagle hangar, which is our hangar part of the museum that's dedicated to military aircraft. So we're spanning everything from World War I to Vietnam, and we're looking at what's down the road for like Gulf War and things like that.
Wow, absolutely incredible. Let's go where we went with our other guests today, because I think people watching and listening across the state, they're interested to know who we're talking to. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and how you kind of got into aviation and in your current gig.
Absolutely. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. Like I said before, I got my Aaron Rodgers jersey all ready for the season. So I'm sure we'll get some comments there.
Treat me as a Packers owner.
Yeah, exactly. But I was born and raised in Pittsburgh. My dad was a steel worker, and with that came a lot of blue collar pride, very similar to the Green Bay. I think community and something we're, very proud of. I wanted to be a construction worker until my uncle took me to see a movie. He told my mom that he was taking me to see a Disney movie, and instead he took me to Top Gun when I was just 6 years old.
Yes, what a great uncle.
Oh, he's awesome. He's an awesome uncle, and that really ruined me. I mean, all I wanted to do was be around airplanes. I didn't know what, but I wanted to be around them. Went to college for air traffic control. Along the way, I worked ramp control for the airlines and was a medical helicopter dispatcher back in Pittsburgh. And then got hired to be an air traffic controller. Did that for years, and then came here almost 13 years ago, and I've never looked back. I came here on a guys trip in 1996 for my first time. I was 16 with a bunch of buddies, and I was just like, man, this is it. One day I want to work here, and I am. And it's something very special.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Talk to us, and again, when we go to other places, we view it as you've invited us into our living room. We like to respect whether it's you or anybody else we go to.
Sure.
We don't get too far down the road into partisan politics, so we do this.
Sure.
But obviously, air traffic controllers have been in the news a lot. There have been some unfortunate tragedies, particularly where Trigvy's out in D.C. Yeah. As someone who went through this as an air traffic controller, what are your thoughts on this? It might sound like a dumb question, but the people are saying, is it still safe to fly? What are your thoughts on this?
Our air traffic control industry is the best one in the world. Those air traffic controllers that work it take their job seriously. And I can tell you that not one of them goes into that tower that day without thinking that they're the best there is. And accidents happen. Luckily in our country they don't happen very often. But unfortunately when they do, they're headline news. And the DC one was... there's nothing nice about it. That was an unfortunate tragedy, but it is still very safe to fly. I'd get on an airplane right now if you entice me with a cold drink and a beach somewhere. No, for anybody who's maybe worried about flying, it is absolutely the safe, and we have the best. We have the best network in the world for aviation. So, no, we're in a good place. It could use some tweaking and fixing. It does. Sure. Not You should always be looking at how to go ahead and go forward and fix what fixes need. But no, those are great people that work in those towers.
Talking with Chris Henry, he is the museum director here at the EAA Museum in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Trigby?
Yeah, talk a little bit about some of the planes that you have there. What's your favorites?
Boy, that's a tough one. It's like someone asking me, what's your favorite kid? Right. The ones that I've gotten a chance to maybe work on or enhance, I think, become your favorites. We're sitting next to a Huey from Vietnam. I was part of the crew that worked to receive this aircraft. I've become very tight with the veterans who flew this one in combat. Ours is a 3-tour combat vet. It actually has the battle scars and patches and stuff on it. Yeah. Our Corsair was flown by Tom Hudner, our F-4U, World War II plane. If you remember Black Sheep Squadron with Robert Conrad, same type of airplane, except ours flew in Korea and was flown by a Medal of Honor recipient who crash-landed his plane on purpose to try to save his wingman, Jesse Brown, who had gone down on December 4th, 1950. These guys, Jesse Brown was our country's first black naval aviator. Tom Hudner was a white pilot who'd gone to the Navy Academy. At this time, those two guys couldn't drink from the same water fountain, and here they are half a world away, and they're risking their lives for each other behind enemy lines.
Wow.
That says something about the character of both of those guys, and we're honored that we have an airplane that was flown by Hudner, and we have that one restored as it appeared on the USS Leyte in 1951.
But if I could just stop you, we got about a minute and a half here, but we'll come back and talk after we do a little business.
Yeah.
But how many times, if you look at history, particularly the military, do we find that the military was ahead of where the rest of this country was in terms of race relation? In terms of, I don't care what color your skin is, I want you to have my 6 when I'm out in the battlefield.
Well, and very much so. They were usually the ones who I think were the tip of the sword on breaking those barriers, and for not just people of color, but for women. The WASP program, where women were allowed to fly high-powered military aircraft. I mean, that was another one during World War II. During World War II, it's important to know that everybody fought World War II. Kids had receptacles where they could take their toys and recycle them to be made into ordnance. I mean, it was literally there wasn't anybody that didn't fight that war, and Korea, Vietnam, same thing.
And it's part of what I think culturally bound our country together and made that truly the greatest generation. But to your point, everybody at some level was involved.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There, talk to anybody alive during World War II, and they'll all tell you. I mean, which is getting harder and harder to do. Yeah. But they all had a part in it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to come back and chat more with Chris Henry. He is the program of the museum manager, pardon me, here at the EAA Museum in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And we'll catch you up on what's worse, the fear of heights or the fear of flying. We know where Trigby stands. Keep his feet on the ground. No high heights. Come on back. It's the Allbaugh Show on location, Oshkosh, on the Civic Media Radio Network. Nicely done,
Do you have any
Zommers.
flying
Nicely done.
fortresses?
What's that?
Do you have any flying fortresses?
We
I
do. We have a
assume you do.
B-17. Ours is named Aluminum Overcast, and it is it's down in the Warbird area right now. But from time to time, it'll come into the museum, or it's over in our other hangar. But yeah, absolutely, it's undergoing some heavy maintenance, but eventually it'll take to the skies again.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite.
My pastor growing up was with the 8th Air Force. He was from Door County, actually, originally, but he did 30 missions, and I never really understood that until I read, I forget the book that I read fairly recently, but about the 8th Air Force and sort of what he went through. I would love to be able to. I wish I would have understood it when we used to go fishing on Lake Michigan, because it would have been.
Yeah, those guys are amazing, and if you found one that was willing to talk about
He's a radio operator. They got all shot up.
Well, if you're ever up here, let me know. We'll get you in it. You can take a look at the radio room.
My daughter, you weren't on. My daughter has her pilot's license and doesn't have her driver's license yet. She's just
awesome,
16, and she's working on getting her hours. But she listens to this. They're over in Europe. My wife's European, so they're over there for a little bit. But she usually listens to when I'm on Todd's show, and she's going to be all over my case about never telling her about the Oshkosh show.
Awesome.
So we'll have to go next year, I think.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to have you all up here.
It can all be part of my grand plan to get her to go to the University of Wisconsin.
We have
30 seconds.
We have a
which will make me very poor but very happy.
Yeah, we have a local. we have a great campus here locally.
Yeah,
All right, here we
Oshkosh is fantastic.
There we go, guys. Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Video Radio Network. We're live on location at the EAA Museum in beautiful Oshkosh, Wisconsin. 22 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. A busy day here on the Allbaugh Show, not just with our great guests, going to get back to that in a minute, but weather, and we do need to keep you abreast of that. Some strong storms moving into central parts of Wisconsin. A line of storms right now. We have a number of tornado warnings. This means that a tornado has either been spotted on the ground by a train spotter or via radar. Right now, there's a tornado warning in effect for until 3:30 for southwestern Fond du Lac and north central Dodge County. Tornado warning until 3:30 for southwestern Fond du Lac and north central Dodge counties. Also, we have a tornado warning in effect until 3:45 this afternoon for south central Waushara County in central Wisconsin. Also have a tornado warning in effect until 3:45 for north central Columbia County, north central Wisconsin, Marquette County as well. So Columbia and Marquette County, also a tornado warning in effect until 3:45 this afternoon. And set to expire in about 10 minutes, a tornado warning remaining in effect for parts of central Columbia County until 3:30 this afternoon. Basically, if you take a line, it goes from just north of DeForest around Portage up through Monticello, up to Watoma, Red Granite, that whole area in there, and then everything east of that, that is where people need to take shelter, lowest level of a building. If you don't have a basement, get to an interior room. If you're driving and encounter these storms, best thing to do, pull over if you can safely, get out and lay in a low-lying ditch. Also, for closer, Waupun, the city of Waupun is in one of these tornado warnings as well, and that is moving towards Fond du Lac. And yes, folks, right where we're at as well here in the Eagle Hangar at the EAA Museum. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Just want to make sure that we're giving all of our listeners the information, and a tornado watch in effect for central and southern Wisconsin until 6 p.m. today. Trygve Olsen out in our nation's capital, joining us on Wednesday per usual. I want to get to more with our guest here at the desk. He is Chris Henry, the museum manager here at the EAA Museum. Chris, Trygve was asking you during the break. In fact, Trygve, why don't you follow up on a couple of questions about the planes, because this is one of your things you're really passionate about.
Yeah, I was just asking about the Flying Fortress, and you were telling a little bit about the Flying Fortress that you have.
We do. We have a B-17 Flying Fortress. Ours is named the Aluminum Overcast. And really, it has been an absolute honor to get to work near that aircraft. It's one of, only about 50 airframes left of that type. Meanwhile, they built just shy of 13,000 of them. But that's what it took to really beat, the German and Japanese forces into, surrendering. The 8th Air Force was the big operator for the B-17. And they were the spearhead of the American daylight bombing campaign over Europe. So if you've seen the most recent miniseries, Masters of the Air, that really is a good example. You can get a good idea what it was like for those guys. But truly amazing guys. I mean, average age of the gunners in the back were 19. Pilots were 21, 22 years old. I mean, that just incredible when you think about what we asked these young guys to do.
Talk to us a little bit, if we could, Chris, about who comes here. Is it school groups? Are they people coming, aside from these 2 weeks when you get people all over the world, but in a general day when it's not the EAA event, who comes here? How much does it cost?
Absolutely. So right now it's a $15 admission. If you're a member, you're free. And we have pricing for school groups, families, and things like that. And if you're an EA member or a family member, it's free. I always tell everybody if you're going to come more than once in a year, you should probably just join, especially if you're a family. But we're this city, or we're the Fox Valley's really Air and Space Museum. Everybody's always welcome, and we really are proud to bring the history of flight, the history of airspace or air and space, hopefully to people's doorsteps. I think it's interesting when you start talking about, you think about an astronaut. You're like, well, I can never be an astronaut. But when you start breaking down their background, where they were football players in high school first, and then, they played the trombone, and suddenly it's like, well, oh, gee, they were kind of like me, and maybe I can work in the space program or something like that. It's very important for people to hear that. So the people that visit us, all walks of life, EA members, visitors from other countries, there are people that have always wanted to hit this museum. And then there's the local community, school groups with our education team. It's fascinating. We get, right in the neighborhood of about 100,000 visitors a year here. Now, granted, about 40,000 of those are coming next week. So, yeah.
Well, like I said earlier on the show, I have two godsons, and my youngest godson graduated UW-Madison with mechanical engineering aerospace, but he came up here a couple times, talked to NASA when they were here. It ended up he worked for the Department of Defense out in Bremerton, doing ships and submarines. But the premise of aerospace, he worked in is it vibrations or whatever it's called, And so I think young people that come here, they might discover their path forward by simply coming to the event or to the museum.
You're absolutely right. I have seen people that come in here not knowing what they want to do, and this is their first sort of taste of like, wow, maybe airplanes are for me, maybe a career in aviation. It doesn't have to be a pilot either. I mean, there's a lot of people that are thinking like, well, maybe I want to be a mechanic or air traffic controller, anything. I mean, and I think it's our duty to make sure that we let people know that there's an avenue that's open to them. What's those next steps forward? What do you do when you come here and you're interested in it? How do I get involved? And then also the history of it. Here's the people who came before you, who fought that good fight so that you have the freedom to do it today. So that's kind of what we try to educate everybody on here.
If people want more information, is there a website they could go to?
Absolutely. EAA.org/museum will take you to the museum. But EAA.org will get you into our organization and at least let you know what avenues are open to you. If you're a young person thinking about maybe you want to fly, I mean, the Young Eagles program is fantastic. If you're not in the Oshkosh area, we have chapters all over the country and that you can join. Wonderful people that give of their time to get young people involved in aviation.
Chris Henry, the museum manager, thank you so much for allowing us to do this, and thanks for all you do.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you guys for being here.
You're part of what makes Wisconsin great. Trigby, thank you very much. We'll see you next week, my friend.
Welcome.
Be safe out there. All right, thank you very much. Come on back. Talk more here from the EAA in Oshkosh after this. Stay tuned. It's the Allbaugh Show live on location and Oshkosh on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Hey, good chatting with you guys.
Hey, thank you very much. You were amazing.
Hey, thank you.
As Wisconsin is cheering on the Brew Crew. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Something to keep an eye on, a potential 50% tariff on Brazilian imports that could trickle down to the consumer buying ground beef. I'm Stephanie Hoff for the Midwest Farm Report along with you on a Wednesday, and we're talking about it with market advisor John Heinberg. John joins us from Total Farm Marketing out of West Bend. He tells us how potential tariffs on Brazilian cattle could impact the price you pay for those hamburgers on the grill.
Now, where does Brazilian beef typically go? It goes into our ground beef supplies and helps keep those costs down there.
How's your day going?
Just with the lower quality of beef that comes out of Brazil. So that's going to be something to kind of watch here as we go forward in terms of what could happen in the consumer and ground beef and things of that nature. If that was something that came into play and lasted for a while, that could really kind of bump up that potential prices on ground beef. Just because of that lack of supply of U.S. cattle and then maybe limiting or adding cost to those imports.
A 50% tariff
Jane
on
Matt Mayer and
Brazilian
Greg
cattle
Bach.
exports to the United States would begin August 1st. John
Put
Heinberg
that
joining
on,
us today.
please.
He's a market advisor with Total Farm Marketing out of West Bend. Stick around. We'll take a look at closing
All right,
markets.
Jane, let's do a mic check on you, please.
Check. 1, 2,
All
9,
right,
9.
very good. And Greg, please. Oops. Oh, how about slide it up? All right, Greg.
Check the mic.
There we go. One more. All right, there's Greg.
Hello.
All right, very good. And Ren, go ahead. Whoops. I'll go ahead, please.
Yep, check.
All right. And it's Ren Scott. Is that
Yes,
correct? All right.
yep.
Always like to.
R-E-N. Yep, you got
All
it.
right. Just make. Yeah, I appreciate
Greg Bach.
All righty, Zommers. It sounded all good down there.
Yep.
Aaron is my producer back in Madison who keeps it all together. We appreciate
I do the
him.
best I can, but Todd's Todd.
You always are doing Facebook, YouTube, Twitter right now. Those platforms can hear everything we say.
Okay.
But we're not over the air yet until we come back. So
All right.
I just like
This
to
is the
warn
show
people.
behind the show.
Hey, secret show.
Secret show.
Joseph watching on YouTube, thank you for. I'm sorry we didn't get to more of what's worse today with all the weather. He says fear of heights is worse.
Versus
flying.
Fear of flying.
Ooh.
It says I'm totally fine flying. Being on the edge of an observation deck is terrifying.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Kurt Kohler, the father of my godson, says 30,000 feet in a plane, no problem. 15 feet off the ground, big problem.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is being able to see the ground.
Right? Yeah.
It's like,
Also,
that's where
planes are
I'll
designed-
land, right there.
Planes are designed to be safe, and they can balance. Me, on the other hand,
Me on a ladder. Ugh.
Not so good.
All right, so I'll come back. I'll just update we have a bunch of weather, as you probably know, going on. I'll do that quick, and I'll introduce Jane and Greg again, and then we'll turn to you. I always like to start with just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, education, and then we'll kind of lead you into aviation. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the business side of things and the event. So did you kind of are you the person overseeing the week here?
No, not quite. It's a team effort. So my piece of it is the sponsorships, the advertising, and the exhibit piece of it, as well as all the food vendors throughout the grounds.
We got the right guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We're getting ready here. I'm sorry, was your volume okay for your headset?
Yeah, I'm good.
You guys okay
Yeah.
with volume?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
About 30 seconds.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I feel like I'm in like Decision
I know, it's
2025.
or a game show.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 35 minutes now past the hour of 3 o'clock. We are live on location in beautiful Oshkosh, Wisconsin at the EAA Museum. We're going to get back to the matters at hand at the museum in just a minute, but it is a busy day in our weather office here and want to make sure that for folks traveling or listening to various stations across the state, we get you up to speed on what's happening in the weather. Very general terms. Take Stevens Point, Wisconsin and central Wisconsin and draw a line almost down to the state line, and that is this large line of storms that's moving to the east right now, and there are several tornado warnings in effect. I want to bring those to you at this time, particularly for our listeners in WISS here in Oshkosh. The first one, the closest to Oshkosh right now, a tornado warning, meaning a tornado is either on the ground as identified by a trained spotter or has been indicated by weather radar. A tornado warning in effect right now for western Fond du Lac County until 4 p.m. Tornado warning Fond du Lac County until 4 p.m. just south of the Oshkosh area for our listeners on WISS. Also, a tornado warning for southern Dodge County until 4 p.m. Southern Dodge County until 4 p.m. Think of Horicon area, Mayville area, Lomira area. You are in effect for that. Another tornado warning in effect for southeastern Columbia County and northeastern Dane County, that in effect until 4 p.m. Think of Columbus. Think of Beaver Dam. You folks need to take cover immediately. A tornado warning in effect until 4 p.m. for northeastern Dodge County, also northwestern Dodge County. So Columbia, Dodge County until 4 p.m. a tornado warning. Also a tornado warning in effect until 3:45 for Marquette County. Think of Monticello and just to the east of that, Princeton area. Those folks need to take cover immediately as well. Also a flash flood warning now for parts of Waushara County. Think of Watoma, Wild Rose, and Red Granite area. These are very dangerous storms. If you are in one of the counties that I mentioned, seek shelter immediately in the lowest level of a building. If you don't have a basement, go to an interior room. Think of a bathroom and then cover up. If you're driving, don't try to drive through these storms. If you're able, pull over safely, get to a low-lying ditch, and ride out the storm there. Our great weather team will continue to update you, but these storms are going to be moving through the state of Wisconsin. A tornado watch in effect from Green Bay over to Stevens Point, down to the state line and over to Lake Michigan, includes WAUK in our area as well, WGBW in Green Bay. That's a tornado watch until 6 p.m., meaning conditions are right for a tornado. All right, I think we have the weather out of the way now. Joining me at the desk, who kicked off this great tour this morning here at the EAA from 9 until 11, their great program, Matt Nair on Air, Jane Matt Nair and Greg Bach. Thanks for joining me, guys.
It is delightful to be here. And just to back up what you were saying, this is a huge line of storms. Please, please, please don't ignore this. Don't blow it off. Don't say, take your phone, take your whatever, go in the basement, be good. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Greg, you got a new hat.
I did. I got a
shopping.
I went shopping in the EAA boutique, and I got myself a very nice cap, and I'll be showing it off for the rest of the time on our tour this week.
You look fantastic.
It also shows what a gigantic melon I have, because I'm on the last snap of this hat, so clearly my brain needs to lose weight.
Well, you guys did a great job this morning in your show, and we're going to continue that now and talk to these great folks on the EAA. I mean, I've learned so much, you guys,
Oh, yes.
just being for your show and ours.
Absolutely. The scholarship program, I think, is so impressive, and the whole Young Eagles program. And we also learned a lot. I know I learned about the different areas of aviation that are available for people to get into. Not everybody's a pilot.
Right.
Not everybody's coming out to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And so, but there are still wonderful ways to get involved, and all of the volunteering too. It's such a whole community. It's such a whole family and history. It's marvelous.
It really is. We're going to talk more with Jade and Greg in a minute, and they're going to join me in speaking with our next guest, joining us here live at the table, the EAA Museum and the Eagle Hangar. He is the Vice President of Business Development and Events, Ren Scott. Ren, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me today.
It's our pleasure to really be here and participate in this. Let's start out. Tell folks a little bit about yourself and how you got into the aviation area.
Sure. So, long story. I started into the aviation world when I was a teenager. I actually started flying when I was 15 years old, soloed when I was 16 years old, went to college for aviation, got my license there, kind of following in the footsteps of my grandfather, who was a World War II fighter pilot, flying some of the airplanes actually that we see behind us. So, I'm originally from Virginia. I went to school in Virginia, and then my wife is from the Green Bay area. So when we had the opportunity to make a move to Wisconsin, kind of jumped all over it. And then the opportunity here at EAA opened up, and it's such a natural fit. And I'm back into aviation, which is great.
So your job, tell folks what your job is the next 2 weeks during the actual major event, and then what you do the rest of the year.
Sure. So my teams consist of the business development teams and the food and beverage and events teams. And the business development team focuses on supporting our sponsors, our advertisers, and our exhibitors. And just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of numbers we're talking about, exhibitors at AirVenture, we have over 860 exhibitors on grounds during the event. Over 120 different sponsors, and then advertisers that are putting ads in everything from daily newspapers to monthly magazines to websites to mobile apps to you name it. The food and beverage team manages and oversees all food that's on the ground. So that's everybody from your local barbecue place to your chain restaurants that you see out on grounds, and also working to make sure that any events that are going on throughout the week that are hosted by, let's say, a company like Boeing or somebody else that you may know or recognize the name of is hosting, kind of working behind the scenes to make sure that those go off without a hitch.
I'll tell you right now, Jane, Greg, and I like ourselves in Wisconsin food and beverage.
Yeah.
So I think we've hit the right
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no question.
I don't know much about planes, but when it comes to food and or beverages, I can help.
Right? So I'm curious about this. What's kind of the most popular food and beverage during the EAA big show?
Yep.
And what's new this year?
Sure. So one of the more popular items is probably a chain restaurant that we all know, and that's Chick-fil-A.
They're here even.
Yep, Chick-fil-A is here. So we have folks, the brands that you might recognize. A&W. We have Papa John's. We have a lot of those type of restaurants, but then we also have a lot of local, more Wisconsin type food options as well. There's actually a taco cheese curd truck that's out on the grounds.
Whoa.
Yes, there should be. It's only right.
What? Taco cheese curd?
Yeah, it's something you'll have to try. And then we have local restaurants, local breweries, local bars and restaurants that are here on site, and it's a welcome it's a welcome thing for all when they're visiting.
Well, and I just think of the amount of obviously for your exhibitors and everybody, you have such an opportunity to touch so many people and interact with such an enormous cross section of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we. I mean, and that's why we try to vary the variety of flavors out on the ground. So it's everything from a cheesesteak in Philly to the cheese curd tacos and burgers and everything else in between. So there's a lot of feel good food and a lot of, hey, I know that brand food.
Yeah. Along with Jay Matnair and Greg Bach from Matnair On Air, speaking with Ren Scott, Vice President of Business Development and Events here at the AAA on location here in Oshkosh. Talk to us a little bit, Ren, about the business side of it, because these things don't happen without somebody financing it. So are you in charge of the corporate connections and basically selling this for donations as well?
Yeah, so not donations, but
investment sponsorships.
Yep, sponsorships, advertising, and exhibits is the business side of it that our team handles. So that's working with companies to bring in the dollars to support not only the museum that we're in, AirVenture, but more importantly the programming that EAA offers. Like you mentioned, the Young Eagles program, or the youth education program like Aero Educate. So our team is actively working with each one of these customers. Like I said, 860 exhibitors, over 120 sponsors, and many more advertisers to find the right fit for them within the organization to help promote their message. So that could be anything from putting their name on the side of a hanger to running an ad in our monthly magazine to sponsoring an event or a platform here at AirVenture. There's also year-round opportunities that we sell. Aero Educate's a great one. So we sell our team sells sponsorships for that program to help keep it going.
I think it's fantastic. I really do. And again, it takes you also have events during the other parts of the year, though, which I also think are important.
Yeah.
And we're only looking for what you can see. You're only seeing half of the museum. There's a whole other half that is spectacular. So what other kinds of events do you host here? And do you put them in here? Do you put them, where do you put them?
Yeah, yes to both. So we host a variety of events here throughout the year. Everything from the farm show to the RV and boat show to we have a lot of space here, and it's a good venue for those large type of shows. Then inside of the museum, we host programming year round. So things like Christmas in the Air, which is it's a free program, a free event for the community. We have Santa Claus come in on a helicopter right out front. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yep, Santa Claus comes in on a helicopter, and there's milk and cookies and activities for the kids, and the whole museum is decorated. It's a really great event. So yeah, I mean, that's just a small sample of what we do here throughout the rest of the year. But the majority of what EAA is doing on a year-round basis is supporting our local chapters that are out, 900 plus of them throughout the country and internationally, as they put on programming like Young Eagle flights, and then also supporting programming in-house as well.
So do you focus most of your time on the events here in Oshkosh, or are they also divided up your time in terms of supporting those other EAA chapters across Wisconsin and the country?
Yeah, so my team does focus on the events here based out of Oshkosh, and then there's a whole other department that focuses on supporting our local chapters throughout the country.
Greg?
Is there anything during next week's event that, aside from all the jobs you must do, they're very important. You have 2 phones. What are you looking forward to mostly next week about what's going to be happening as far as events or talks or anything like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's really hard to pinpoint one terrific thing throughout the week. I mean, there's such a variety of really exciting things that go on. Everything from fighter jets that are coming in to old World War II bombers to 2 Goodyear blimps this year.
Oh wow!
Blimp is here this year.
There you go.
2 of them. But one thing that I would point is probably the most impactful thing, or one of the most impactful things that we do, is we host the Old Glory Yellow Ribbon Honor Flight out of Oshkosh on Friday, the 25th. And so what that is it gives Vietnam veterans the chance to board the aircraft here at AirVenture, head out to D.C. for the day for the monuments, museums, and then when they come back in, they're welcomed with the water cannon salute.
Yeah.
The Army band is playing the whole 9 yards. It's really great.
That must be astonishing.
It is.
Vince, thank you so much for everything you do. Thanks for
We'll be back
taking
right
part
after
of
this on
Wisconsin
the
Great.
Todd Allbaugh
Thank
Show
you.
on the Civic Media Radio Network. Sorry, you were cutting out really bad.
Yeah, I think my guess is the storm
pouring.
is moving in. Yeah,
It is
it's probably
pouring.
probably affecting the satellite. But thanks, Summers, for doing that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Really
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet
Have
you.
a great event. It's
Yeah.
gonna be really fun.
I thought I needed subtitles to talk to my grandkids.
Yeah,
These
it's
are
boring.
Yeah.
giant clunkers.
I'm just going to check the satellite. Wait a second.
Bluetooth, it's rechargeable. The works. Yeah, my
It was
phone connects
pouring
straight to
here
my
earlier
ears. I'm
too.
basically a
Yeah.
And it was like
Hey, you just
flooding
figured
in the
out
streets
actually one
downtown.
here, too.
Jeez.
But I did call Madison Hearing
I'll
Aid
make
Center,
our way
and
to
you should too.
Butternut, which is going to be
608-249-4077. 608-249-4077. Tell them John and Gordy sent you.
What's it looking like?
Has landed. That's right. Madison's go-to cannabis destination now has a brand new location in Sun Prairie.
Wait, 4 locations? That's a high level of convenience.
Zommers, can you hear me?
Madison locations and now
Yep.
Sun Prairie. A great
Yeah, it's just
I can't hear you. What?
always close by.
We're just getting hit really hard. So
we might. I mean, we're going to have to wait
and
until
get a special discount. So stop by Herbal Aspect in Sun Prairie because great cannabis
Oshkosh
isn't
Night
just a
2.
pipe dream.
Nice. I'm rolling.
Most of the time it's fine. It was just right at the end there. It cut out, so I just said
I
whatever.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Healthy blood sugar formula from
we
the
appreciate
makers of the
you.
nation's
Yes,
best-selling
we
garlic
do.
supplement.
We absolutely
New
do.
Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when
All
you
right,
think
I'll
you
come
have a
back.
grasp on
I'll
spending,
go through the
new
storms real
sneakers,
quick again, and then we'll
a
just kind of
21st
wrap it up.
field trip, and of course spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount, and then you can continue to spend money on them endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
Are you or a loved one facing addiction? The Wisconsin Addiction Recovery Helpline offers free and confidential support 24/7. Powered by 211 Wisconsin, local trained specialists can help connect you with local service providers for treatment, peer support, harm reduction tools, and more. Call 211, text your zip code to 898-211 or chat at 211wisconsin.org. Help is waiting. Sponsored by United Way of Wisconsin.
Looking to strengthen the bond with your pup? Dane County Humane Society offers a variety of dog training classes led by certified trainers.
30 seconds.
Classes are
Thank you.
designed
And then remember, we got to do the teaser once we're done with the show.
All right, thank you. Come join us tomorrow. It'll be really fun. It's my teaser.
Hey guys, be here 2 p.m. tomorrow.
That's Butternut.
We're gonna be in Butternut. Oh.
Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network, where it is now 8 minutes before the hour of 4 o'clock. At the top of the hour, ABC, CBS, and James Kelly News, depending upon which of our great stations you listen to across the Civic Media Radio Network, followed by a check of weather, sports with a great sports reporter, Mike Clemens, and then another edition of the Maggie Dawn Show every afternoon from 4 until 6, followed by our friend and colleague Pete Schwaba and Nightlight with Conrad as well. Going to be a wonderful afternoon here on the Civic Media Radio Network. Before we wrap this up, bring Jane and Greg back in again. Really some really important weather information we want to pass on to folks across the state of Wisconsin. If you were to look at weather radar right now, there is a line of storms that goes from north, basically, of Antigo and Highway 8, almost all the way down to the state line with Illinois, just around the Madison area. All of these storms are moving about 35, 40 miles per hour to the east. Several of these storms have caused severe weather, and I'm going to run down the list of tornado warnings at this time. If you are in one of these areas, you need to seek shelter immediately in the lowest level of your building or in the interior room of a building. And if you encounter it on the road, do not drive through it. Try to pull over and get to a low-lying ditch. Right now, we have a tornado warning. A warning means a tornado has been spotted by a trained spotter on the ground or indicated by weather radar. This is a tornado warning right now. For just about to expire here in the Horicon and Mayville area right now. So that one is just expiring as we are wrapping things up here. Do another 5 minutes. 4 o'clock tornado warning expiring for Fond du Lac, western Fond du Lac County here in Wisconsin. Areas of this storm include Waupun, Oakfield, Rosendale, Alto, Oak Creek as well. Those areas, a tornado warning until 4 p.m. Also, this is a flash flood warning for western Waushara County and 2 other tornado warnings. Again, tornado warnings for parts of southeastern Columbia and west central Dodge counties until 4 p.m. So if you're in the Columbus, Beaver Dam area, also Waupun area, think of Cambria, think of Randolph, those areas under a tornado warning right now until 4 o'clock. I think I said Waupun as well. So these storms are not anything to joke around about, folks. So as Jane was saying earlier, best just to seek shelter, Jane.
Yeah, please don't mess around and don't think this is nothing and this happens every year. Nothing happens. Please don't. We don't want this to be the one time when you decide not to go for safety and you need it.
Right.
So go to your basement, go to the bathroom, keep your phone, grab a radio if you still have one. It's a small box. Anyway, take your phone and listen on the app, and please take this seriously.
If there's any good news, guys, it's that it appears the National Weather Service, as this line of storms is moving from central Wisconsin through eastern Wisconsin, as it goes through these areas, they are canceling the tornado watches that were in effect until 6 p.m. So it appears that once this line moves through,
weakening a little bit.
Probably the severe stuff, it looks like, will be done for the night. But basically from Stevens Point, Madison, and everything east of that, still a tornado watch in effect for everyone until 6 p.m. tonight. Jane and Greg, I think we're going to hunker out here for a little while.
We live here now.
With the food and beverage before we get on the road to Butternut.
Yeah, no doubt. Yes, it is pouring here in Oshkosh, and we do have some things to pack up.
Yeah.
As mobile as we are, and once we'll get packed up and we'll hit the road once things calm down a little bit. I'm old. I don't like to drive in weather like this. I don't, but I don't feel comfortable.
We're going to hang out here for a while.
Vision is bad. It's hard to see. Turn your lights on if you're driving.
Right. We got to get Jane back in her Mercedes.
She also would like you to get off her lawn and turn down your rock and roll music, as you're just getting on her nerves now.
He's
not in my backyard.
Thank you, Zommers. Thank you.
I don't know about the rest of you. I'm not going anywhere until I find this cheese curd taco.
Well, and my sister, our unofficial on-site producer here in the summer up in the Chippewa Valley, she says the taco cheese curd truck was at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair last year. You tried that last year, Todd. Mike ate one this year. Yeah, Kreitler and I had one last year.
Is it good?
What is it?
It's
is
really
it just
heavy.
A
I'm
cheese
sure
curd in a shell?
It's a cheese curds in a shell, and then they deep fry all of that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Bridget, I loved you. I loved you so much. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Tell the dog I miss you.
Yeah, tell the dog I'm so sorry.
But isn't that one of the great, as we tour around the state, we encounter all these things that I don't know, we get too caught up, in my opinion, of the important news, which all three of us do.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think it's also just appropriate to say, let's have a little bit of fun and joy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it is important to our well-being to be able to take a breath and take a moment and enjoy life a little bit. I do, even with everything else that's going on, and not trying to discount that at all. But Joy is breath.
Yeah, you gotta take some time. And I want to imagine there are people out there who are listening to this show who vehemently disagree with everything we talk about with regard to politics and policy and whatnot. But we're all sitting here going, I would beat up a cheese curd taco right now. I would,
right.
We could get together and we could cheers those and be like, I don't care who you voted for. This is delicious. And I just imagine people from like, because one of the things we were talking about is that the EAA hosts a global audience at the AirVenture event. And I just want to imagine someone from Paris or Germany walking up and being like, what is this thing? And just enjoying what will be the greatest creation of our lifetime, which is the cheese curd taco.
Guys, it's been great traveling with you. This is just day one. Tomorrow, we're both going to be doing our shows at Butternut.
Yes.
Tune in tomorrow from 9 until 11 for Matt and Aaron with Jane and Greg. Going to be in an artisan studio
Yes,
tomorrow.
very excited about that. Fanatical Fish Gallery.
Correct.
In Butternut. And so if you're around, stop by. We have Kringle.
We had Kringle, absolutely. Many thanks to the people that made this show, including our friend Todd Michaels, who did the groundwork, Luke Mathers, who finished up the groundwork. Appreciate them. Also, many thanks to Zommers back at the studio, Jane and Greg for being great travel partners and hosts as well. Join them tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And, of course, all of you for listening. And Dick,
Dick Dupinski.
Thank you very much, who put all this
Got to
together.
finish that with that last name.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned. Maggie Dawn is next. Stay safe from the storms today. Until tomorrow from Butternut, Todd Allbaugh saying, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, keep on banging your drum and keep fighting out there. We'll see you tomorrow from Butternut. For Jane, Greg, I'm Todd at Zommers. Take care.
Adios, everybody.
All right, everybody. Thank you. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.